to On a Mission. I'm Emily Mae. Veda is here with me. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing? I know lots of people had a Monday off to honor Memorial Day. So we hope
Yeah,
everyone's had.
short week for a lot of people, and it was a big wrestling week too.
It was a huge wrestling weekend. I think we're all. I don't know. I feel like it felt like another WrestleMania week for many. Where
Yeah, there were a lot of big shows happening, and that's I think continuing this week too. I mean, we're already like getting right back into things, so it's a little chaotic.
yeah,
But
it's a.
we have True Colors coming up too, and
We
that's
do
probably
have
the most
true
important show of the
colors.
month. So
That's exactly. That's like we're about 2 weeks away. And thank you. Brent Ross is in the chat, and he's ready for Black Swan, who is our special guest tonight.
yeah, I'm really
And
excited about this interview.
this is so exciting. I'm excited to get to know her ahead of her Mission Pro debut in a few weeks. And yeah, I mean, we have, again, as a reminder, June 10th is our big show, and we have all the matches have been announced. And so if you have not seen all of it, we're going to break it down uh, starting probably next week. We're going to start breaking down those matches, talking about those competitors. And if you didn't get your tickets yet, go to missionprowrestling.com. Get those tickets. VIP, front row, and second row are still open. And Veda, I know it's a great deal because you get a special photo op, and with the whole talent ahead of the show, you get a signed poster. And that is a really good deal because I know tons of sponsors and tons of fans collect those posters year after year
Yeah,
throughout
and
the show.
these group roster photos are something that can become really important when you look at where people from Mission Pro have gone on. Someone like Zoe, like Black Swan, who is relatively new to wrestling but really catching a lot of eyes. Like it's gonna be a cool piece of memorabilia someday to say you were there. So
Right,
I think it's
exactly.
cool.
I mean, anyone that has those posters back from 2+ years ago with Genocide and Maddie and
Right?
Jasmine, collecting those signatures, collector's items right there. So remember, get those VIP tickets. You never know what signatures you're going to get. And yeah, so go get those. And then also sponsorships. I see some sponsors in the chat.
Yes.
Brent Ross is one of our amazing sponsors who's excited to see Black Swan. Neil Benedict, thank you so much. Neil's asking if you're happy to have
I
Speedball
am.
back in your life.
We were both traveling so much, but now that Mike's back from Japan, we have like a day or two off, and then we both go back on the road again. But yeah, super happy Mike's back. Hopefully, they'll be back in Japan sometime soon. We would hope, but not too soon. So
Yeah, that's a long trip. It's like 19 hours, right? It's a
it's
full
quite
day,
long.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trenda, we have Trenda in the chat.
Hi,
Thank you so
Trenda.
much. Trenda is a part of our hosting team on Thursdays, and we're going to have an exciting show this Thursday, 9 p.m. Central. Trenda and I, and maybe some special guests, we're going to break down all of the wrestling news that happened this past week. And there's a lot. We're going to highlight
Like a
women's
lot,
wrestling
a lot.
matches. There's a lot. We have new champions. So again, you want to watch that Thursday show because it's going to be wild. Pepe's in the chat. We have Zach. We got some new people here. So thank you all so much for supporting. This is our Tuesday on a Mission show where we bring on guests from our upcoming shows and we get to know them. And so I'm going to bring her on because
Yes.
she's a few hours behind us, hailing from Vegas. So I want to give her all the time that she needs to let the Mission Pro fans know who and what she's all about. And so I am so excited. She's getting ready to welcome Zoe Dubois, the Black Swan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for this. I am greatly grateful for this opportunity, and I am happier than a kid on Christmas.
We are so excited to have you. You are making your Mission Pro debut at True Colors, and before we dive into all of that, what does it mean to be, debuting for Mission Pro Wrestling?
It was unheard of. As soon as I got the news that I was going to be a part of Mission Pro and debuting, I was definitely shocked because, like you said, I am so new in this industry that any opportunity I am deeply grateful for, even if it's 10 people in the crowd or 200 people in the crowd. It's about them. It's not about me. I'm just here to present all my skill and my talent and make a name out of myself. So this will be a major jump for me and a major step into what I can potentially become. And I would love to bring more people, on this train to victory and all the of us.
I mean, I really have to really talk about like your dance background, because we all know, we've seen like your 20 plus years of dance experience. I've seen just your beautiful entrances, just the work that you do. You also are a rehearsal director at a contemporary dance company. So you're dipping your toes in both worlds, the world of wrestling and the world of dance. And so how did that all come about in the last few years?
That's a funny story, very much so. So with it, a little fun fact about me: my parents, my family, we're lovers, not fighters. So I didn't even grow up watching wrestling at all, because my mom, she was a dancer before me, and my dad worked stagehand, so that's how they met. And a year ago, I was working this convention, and there was different stations set up. Like there was a zipline station, there was a phone boxing station, and we were required to choose whatever one we wanted to work. And I was walking around, and I saw this sign that said bear wrestling, and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna work, I'm gonna have fun with this. So another girl and I, we came and we stayed for that, and we got to know a few of the wrestlers, and one of them, Cal Jack, he used to go by Cal Bishop. He was dressed up in a bear costume, and we made chit chat throughout the night, and we were screaming and cheering everyone on. And the girl and I, we both agreed, we're like, once we clock out, we're getting in the ring, and we're gonna have a great time. So we clocked out, we got in the ring, wrestled the men, wrestled each other, had a couple laughs. And Cal, he looked at both of us. He was like, "Hey, you want to come to training just one day?" And I said, "Why not? Because you won't know if you like something, so you try it. And if I didn't like it, at least I could say that I tried it." But I went there, I rolled around, I saw a quick little practice match, and I fell in love with it. I was like, this is awesome. And I never looked back. And even the similarities between professional wrestling and dancing made such a smooth transition for me to bring in. And I was like, man, and now here I am, about to go on Mission Pro. So
Well, tell us a little bit more about that, because I think that's something that like a lot of people maybe wouldn't make that connection. What do professional wrestling and professional dance have in common?
So they're both very in the art aspect. We are putting on this character, or we're trying to allude to this persona of us, and we're translating it to the audience. We are still telling the story, and even with dance and wrestling, there's vocabulary to it. As ballerinas, we have a grand plie and a jeté. In wrestling, we have a suplex and a drop kick. So with that, we're still putting little pieces together to create this one big idea. And it's, like I said a little before, it's not about us at the end of the day. We're telling it to the audience. We're having them go with it, and we listen to them. And that's the only thing, I'll say the only difference between professional wrestling and dance is that with wrestling, we're breaking the fourth wall. We want to encourage the people. We want to get people on us. We want that, and we want to make that connection with it. But with dancing, we're kind of like, okay, this is a little TV screen. Just watch and be amazed by it. But with it, it's through finding that one little girl, or even that one couple that has that glisten in their eye, and you want to capture that moment. And even with dance, you see a little girl, see a ballerina twirl on stage, and you see the enlightenment and the sparkle in her eye, and she's like, I want to do that. And it's the same with wrestling. You see that little 9-year-old boy with too much enthusiasm because he had 5 boxes of popcorn, and you're like, yeah, I'll crush him. But I found that definitely the similarities between it, and I don't know, it is an odd resemblance that a lot of people don't realize. Like with dance, we make it look pretty, but wrestling is not necessarily pretty. It's a little more aggressive, but it's the same thing, just on opposite spectrums.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the chat are saying wrestling. Pepe is saying wrestling is a ballet. It true is. It is. You have to move. You have to flow. There's a sequence of moments that happen, right? So talk a little bit about this. You said that wrestling's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more. I mean, but you need power in both dance and in wrestling. So how did you kind of find some of your moves are so beautiful and have such lines and flow in the ring, but how do you find your little aggression, especially now that you're going to have opponent after opponent, and you've had some tough opponents in the last year?
Oh, I definitely have. But girl, light skins, we have a little trick up our sleeves. We got a little spots in our life and everything. But even with aggression, it's still an emotion. So with dance, we don't, scream at the audience or anything. But if we are trying to allude with this ballet of making like we are angry, we're not gonna be screaming, but we have to show it in our face. We have to show it in our body that we are angry so the audience can understand, oh, she's angry. She's going to do something with that. So it's not, that's why, like, at least me as Black Swan, when I'm in there, I don't like screaming at the audiences. I don't want to be like, I want them to actually see my body language and have that be expressed instead of a verbal, because actions speak louder than words, and we have all heard of that. So with my aspect, I can have the and the power and the aggression behind it, but I want to look pretty while doing it as well, because with dancers, no matter how ugly a step is, there's still a sense of beauty behind it. And that's what I like to kind of like transition with it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about being Black Swan. Obviously, it's a very dance-inspired persona, the look, the movement, all of it. Was that something you knew from day one you wanted to incorporate into your wrestling, or was it more of an organic thing?
I would like to say it's more organic, because even when the first couple of times that days or moments that I was training, I didn't think of myself or consider myself as a Black Swan or use my ballet gimmick into this whole career, because I just wanted to learn how to wrestle, how to take down a 300-pound dude and look cool while doing it. But with my flexibility and my capability of moving and picking up steps, that just kind of kept on moving on with my training. And the mindset, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be doing a lot of legs and I still have this elegance behind me. And I'm like, the Black Swan, there could be a double entendre of like me, because I'm Black, I'm a little white, I'm a little light skinned, but, the Black Swan, but also the character that antagonist itself is from the ballet Swan Lake, and she is not necessarily a vicious, evil character. She's a deceiver. She likes to persuade them in favor of her, because she is portraying the actual Swan, the protagonist at it, but she is dressed up as one while actually being the character. So she's the bewitcher of hearts, as I like to say. So with that, I'm like, okay, how can I translate that into wrestling? I want you guys to be entranced with my movement and not stunned. I want, I rather, if I have the whole audience just quiet and just so into it, that speaks thousands of words than just like, yeah, because they're just so absorbed into what's going on. I'd rather take that and go with it. And then after, they'll be like, yeah, and then they could go crazy because they can finally process and figure out what just happened in the last, 8, 10, 12, 30 minutes. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know, so JP Harlow is your opponent for June 10th, right? And he's been causing such havoc at Mission Pro Wrestling, but he did bring up the fact the Black Swan, the Natalie Portman movie, and Mila Kunis. And so he was like, I'm wrestling. I'm sure you've seen it. You obviously, responded appropriately. So, he mentioned that movie. And so did you pull inspiration from that? Or, I mean, because I know that does represent Swan Lake and kind of that whole iteration of it.
It's a stretch to think that JP Harlow has ever seen a ballet. So yeah, the movie makes sense.
Whoa, Veda, calling out JP.
He he doesn't know what the true art of the Black Swan is. He just sees what the little lights, camera, action showbiz is.
You're gonna
But
show him
no.
the real art of ballet
Oh,
on June
yeah.
10th.
We gonna dance, you know. I'm gonna make him do a grand jete, a little split in there if I need to.
And JP, again, like, spoilers if anyone hasn't seen it, but let's keep in mind that the movie Black Swan does end with stabbing. So, I don't know if I would want to conjure memories of that either if I'm JP. So,
I mean, that's true. I mean, like, Zoe, what can fans expect on June 10th and JP? Because I know he's clamoring to know.
Oh, well, you know, since he doesn't have his little puppet next to him, it's all him. So he got to prove what he can do just by himself. Because it's a lot of talk when you have a tag team or you have a hype person right next to you. Because, of course, you're going to get thrilled and invested with that because you have somebody hyping you up. It's just me. It's all you know, my director, he taught me a great saying that we always used to say before every show. And I still use it, you know, because I got nothing to prove, but I got everything to share. And that's definitely something that I want to do. And, you know, I can brag and talk about it, but I want myself to prove what I can bring. Because it ain't going to be boring. I'll tell you that. We're gonna have a little Tita Tango dance. You know, we're gonna waltz it out with a little jabble in there. But, you know, it's going to be different than just your average intergender match. And that's what I want to be. I want to make it different. I want to tell the story beginning, middle, and end. I want the pleasing aspect. I want the thrill of it. I want the suspense. I want the agony and the pain, but I also want the triumph and the victory behind it. And that is what I am promising everybody there.
wow.
Not some beautiful or not so average 10-minute match. You know, it's going to be 10 minutes. I want y'all to be on the edge of your seat for at least 9 minutes and 10 seconds because the last 50 seconds is me giving the final bow to him while he takes that 1, 2, 3 count.
Well, kind of
love
coming
it.
off of that, I have a question that I saw earlier in the chat from Pepe, and I already assume the answer is not going to be JP Harlow, but I know you've been in wrestling for a relatively short amount of time, but do you have a dream opponent yet? Or are you still kind of surveying the scene?
So one person that actually one of my dream opponents that is going to be coming up is Maserati. She scares me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. She's a little firecracker.
She's tough.
She is tough, but I'm definitely excited to see that clash between an elegant and a solid woman to see how that because that is definitely opposite. So I think that would be a very interesting fight that's gonna pop up.
You're in Vegas, right? She's the queen of Vegas.
The queen of Vegas.
So
tell me, I'm like, oh, I gotta go against her. But that's something that is actually going to be coming up, which I am deeply thrilled about because I already know I'm going to learn so much and obtain so much information and knowledge from her because she is so well known and she's gone through the trial and error. So me being so early and so young in this industry, I'm trying to get as much information as possible. You know, if I can get the good job from the audience, from the little girls, from everyone on the side, give me what I can be better at. That's all I want. You can tell me I'm trash, but then give me like, okay, this is what you got to work on. I'm like, got it. Let me write it down so I could lock it in. But a dream, okay, absolute dream match. I would love to go against Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I mean, you'd be doing pretty okay for yourself career-wise too.
Yeah, if you're
at that point.
Yeah.
But that is because I have admired her for so long, and I've seen her progression, and you know, she definitely deserved the title, and I was there when she took it, and I was from Charlotte, because since it was in LA for Mania, I was there, and I'm just like, yeah!
I mean, a lot of times, some of the most intriguing matches are these clashes of styles, and Rhea is just, well, she says she's brutality. She is just a bruiser, and that is, you know, kind of the opposite of what the Black Swan does in the ring. So I could see that. I could see that.
I like
Oh,
this. Yeah, I feel like the looks would be amazing too.
very. I get bruises, they're just silent but deadly. It's one of those invisible bruises that hurt more that you don't know where.
Yeah. Well,
And sorry, we have one more question from Serena that I'm actually really interested because it's a slightly different version of that last one. But Serena wants to know who has been your favorite opponent that you've already faced, because we know there's been some pretty notable names.
Ooh, that is true. Oh man, I have to pick one. That's hard.
a few.
A few. Okay. I would say one of them that definitely helped me. It was my second match I have ever had. It was against Michael Hayashi. He's been in the industry for a while, and he taught me a few things, and he whooped me. He gave me a good whooping, but it was a whooping that snapped me back into reality. I recently just went against Chupacabra, and he is very into the theatrical and the gimmick of him. He is not your average, male wrestler with the little shorties, with the big muscles, and just stomping everywhere in the world. So it was a beautiful scenery of seeing a lizard against a bird, but it still, made sense.
That's a visual.
One of my first debut at Pride Style that was in Vegas, I went against a woman named Dark Sheik. And Dark Sheik I wanted to go against for a while before, and when it finally happened, she was the Ice Queen against my Black Swan, so she was in all white and I was in black, and that one is definitely memorable. I will say, I will never forget
Dark Sheik is the coolest wrestler on the planet.
So cool.
Oh my gosh, I can just like that visual. I think I've seen at least photos from that match too. So that is quite a variety of opponents, but like again, really, really cool. So early on in your career, and like you said, you're just kind of taking something from every match, and I love that.
Yeah, I mean, so you mentioned I saw earlier that you talked about the toughness of dancers and that they're underrated. And so how do you take that toughness of dancers and apply that every day to what you do in the ring? And how do you kind of break those assumptions down that people have about that?
So because us dancers, we kind of on stage, we make it look effortless, but no one knows what goes on during technique or even the months of an hours of rehearsal that we do, through the blood and the sweat and the tears that we still have to know it's showbiz. We're in this together, and we're gonna get this job done, no matter what, because this is what we are passionate about. This is something that we defy all odds. Because artists, sadly, the performing arts aspect of the world is not well paid for, or at least like represented, because it goes on to like it's taken by something else or whatnot. So it's a struggle, most definitely. And me being in concert dance sadly is dying. Like the true classic contemporary of mixing ballet and modern together. Now it's more commercialized of doing 17 flips and 5 turns, and you're like, oh wow, that's defying physics, but that's okay. But with me, I was always raised on, if you can stand on stage for 2 minutes doing absolutely nothing, you could still produce an emotion that everybody is still captured on. And that's what I was raised on. So, and it was a struggle every now and then, especially through income or whatnot. But with that passion and motivation, I knew that I wanted to share it with everything and share it with everybody. So it's that toughness of trying to find a job with it, or going through all the blisters on your feet and just wrapping it up, calling it a day, taking an Advil and getting back on stage, or crying because you can't get a step, or you can't tell your body what it's capable of, but it just won't process through the rest of it. So you have that multiple times of feeling defeated and realizing like, am I doing this correctly? Like, should I quit? Like, am I even worth doing it? But because I have that hope, and I'm just like, keep going, keep pushing, it's gonna be worth it. Like, if you only have one life, you might as well do whatever you want, because at the end of the day, to look back on it, why would you look back on all these, bad memories and regretful situations? I'd rather look back on my life and be like, yeah, I did that. I've been dancing for 20 years. I gone through hell and back with it. Now I'm wrestling. How did that happen? I don't know, but it did. And I'm trying to live my life to the fullest. And with wrestling, it's such an oddball career out of what my life usually is. And even my peers and my family, they're like, wrestling? Are you okay? Are you sure you don't want to keep on dancing? And I'm just like, if dancing is my calling, then life will bring me back to it. But let me love it in a different aspect. Let me bring it to a whole other category and see if it fits. If it doesn't, I tried. But if it does, man, let it take me to tomorrow, because that's all I want. And with wrestling, through all the trial and errors, and even I haven't felt complete defeat of it yet, but I have had a little kisses of what it may or may not can bring. And I know, like, get as much information as I can, because even if I don't take this in the long run, I will use whatever I can of what I've learned and bring it with me on my next journey. And that's the beauty of everything.
I mean, I love that outlook and that mindset. We know that there are past and current WWE superstars and independent wrestling stars that were dancers for sports teams or took ballet and then transitioned into wrestling. And so this is a journey that many wrestlers have had before. So did you look at any of those wrestlers as inspiration for the journey that you potentially want to take?
I have checked out a few. Mind you, I was still in my dance transition, so I was actually looking more so of like dance movements and saying how I'm like, okay, I could turn that into a hip toss or a little DDT. So how can I make that? So that's where I get more of my inspiration of other dancers and see what moves I can do with that. But yeah, all the wrestlers with the gymnastics background and just that aspect and that knowledge of like, hey, we all come from that same past life, and now we're on this another journey. Whether you're still currently in it, it was another additional past life, or it's going to be your future life. It definitely opened my eyes a lot more of like, it is possible to achieve, no matter where you started from. If you got the right mindset for it, you can do whatever you want, and ain't nobody can stop you if you don't listen to them.
I love it. So speaking kind of on that lane of other wrestlers that are dancers, if you yourself could create your own dance troupe with wrestlers, who's a few that you would add and be a part of the troupe?
I don't even know.
It's hard, I know.
It is. Because we got to see if they still got a little two-step in there.
Yeah. You're gonna be a tough teacher there.
Oh, so we've got some good answers in the chat. Monrovia Mike pointed out Dirty Dango, of course.
Sunny Kiss.
Brian, yes, says Sunny Kiss. Sunny is, bringing the same sort of idea of the style of just graceful movements, athleticism, and that dance influence. Actually, you versus Sunny Kiss is a match that I might need to see now that I'm thinking about it.
That'll be the battle of the divas.
Mm-hmm.
Diva versus diva.
Yeah. I might have to hold onto my crown a little stronger than others because of that. Ooh, Sunny would be fun.
And then people are roasting your opponent for June 10th. They're saying that JP, unfortunately, he only knows how to twerk and he can't dance.
Okay, well,
And
what type of twerking? Because we got the Miley Cyrus twerking, and then we got the real twerking.
you know, I really don't want to know. We're gonna just
We
leave that one
actually
there.
don't
Thank
need to
you,
find out.
Mongrovian Mike, for that visual. Mongrovian Mike also said, "I already wish JP a happy last birthday because Black Swan's gonna kill him."
We won't say kill him. We'll say he will take his final bow as he fades slowly into inexistence.
I love it. And Neil says, "Can't wait to see you leave a boot print on JP's face." Is it a boot print or is it a ballet? A ballet shoe.
It's
print?
a ballet shoe. It's gonna be a point shoe though. That's a solid block.
Right? You should poke him in the eye with your point shoe.
Oh yeah.
The block of it is a little bit.
We have one more suggestion for your dance company is La Rosa Negra, who,
Yes.
like, okay, when we're talking, what kind of twerking is it? Is it the Miley Cyrus type or the real type? It should be, is it the Miley Cyrus or the La Rosa Negra type?
That is
Because
true. That's
she
a whole
can
other
move.
type.
She can move.
Look, if you bring him, then maybe we can teach JP Harlow, you know, a thing or two about dance instead of just doing a little disco or the lawnmower or whatever he can do.
I love it. I love it. So Zoe, I also have to ask, this was like one of my funny questions that I was thinking about, is because I've always wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars because I was a dancer as well. And so I can appreciate your journey. If you were on Dancing with the Stars, who would you want to dance with?
As cheesy as it sounds, and a little cliche of it, and even though the name is not as known as it should be, I would love to dance with my director, Bernard Gaddis, because he taught me so much, and I don't know if he can partner dance, because I don't know if I can partner dance. I like to lead, I can't follow, but I think that moment, because he gave me a second chance with dance when he found me. I think I would love to be like, hey, I know you didn't like me wrestling, and you know you're always scared of me hurting, especially right before a dance show during training. But I would love to be like, hey, I made it, and you helped me with it. So let's dance and show these people who we are and where we came from.
I love it. I love it. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Like go back to your roots a little bit. Mongrovian Mike is saying you can do a quick step on his face. Speaking of JP's face, not your.
Yeah, we're still, the chat is still on.
The chat is still on.
Do to torture JP,
Yeah,
just so you know.
It's still on that. I mean, I feel like you might have to. You're gonna have to. I don't know.
They're going nuts already.
The chat is going wild.
Oh yeah, I'll add a few dance moves here and there and see if anyone can pick up what
type of like ballet move it is. If I just do a grand plie to the punch to the gut, or
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're definitely going to teach JP some moves on June 10th. Moves he's never seen before. He's not going to be ready. He's not going to be prepared. Like, I'm so excited. The Mission Pro fans are excited. Veda's excited.
It's just 2 weeks away, too.
It's 2 weeks away.
Oh.
I know. I didn't realize how close it was until like I saw my planner, because I'm a planner. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a spontaneous woman. I need to write it down. But I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's coming up. I was like, I'm
It's
still
real
stuck
soon.
in 2020. All the way back then before the pandemic. I don't know when we came in the middle of 2023.
I know. We're here. You're making your Mission Pro debut. What's one last thing you would like to tell JP ahead of your match? And what's one thing you want Mission Pro fans to know about you?
To JP Harlow, you better limber up a little bit before you get in the ring, because we gonna stretch. We're gonna do some great stretches, and we gonna do a little dance. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be a little educated of what
Professional dance is about. Now for Mission Pro, I just want to say enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy
enjoy it. I hope I don't disappoint.
because that's always a big thing for me. But I want to say thank you for everyone who believes in me, and best believe I'm gonna put on a show. Because Mission Pro bringing the lights, The ring's bringing everyone's bringing the camera, and I'm bringing the action. We're gonna have a great time.
I love it.
Awesome.
I know we're all looking forward to it. Where can everyone follow you on social media so that we can watch your journey as a dancer and a wrestler?
So on Instagram, I am _Black Swan, and on Twitter, I am _Zoe Dubois. You can see my opinions every now and then about life.
Thank you so much for joining. We can't wait to see the Black Swan stretch their wings and dance away at Mission Pro Wrestling. Oh my God, look at that. Definitely not doing that right now. Veda, you want to try it? No. We're definitely not doing that. But we can't wait to see you. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for joining, for all of your questions. Go follow Zoe, and we will see her on June 10th. Get those tickets and watch it on Title Match Network to support the Black Swan. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you so much. Always such a grateful opportunity.
All right.
Wow.
Veda, Mission Pro Wrestling. That is the Black Swan, and she is debuting, making her curtain call. Did you see what I did there? Extra colors.
I am so excited because, you know, she's a really unique case and someone who is like, yes, she said really under a year into her pro wrestling career has had some really big opportunities. But to me, it's intriguing because although she hasn't been wrestling or even really known about wrestling for long, it seems like what she has gone through as a dancer in terms of the dedication and the training and all of that is like,
the schedule, the just how much, like, you're just so tedious. Like, you just have to have so much effort, and like your mindset, your body, it all has to be connected. It's incredible. And she's done so much in the year or so that she's been wrestling and in this world. And I am so excited to see her debut on June 10th.
Yeah, it just seems like she has really just kind of transferred all of that commitment to pro wrestling. And that is exciting because for her to dance for 20 years is incredible. And to take that level of just heart and determination and now apply it to pro wrestling, I think that's the reason she's been getting some huge opportunities, including with Mission Pro. I don't know. She's definitely someone to get on board with right now.
Definitely. Everyone get on board, support Zoe, follow her on social media, follow Mission Pro on all social media platforms. And remember, get those tickets to True Colors because this is a show you don't want to miss.
Yes.
And the next week, we're going to be breaking down those matches. We're going to be talking about what's happening leading into True Colors, and you don't want to miss that as well. We're going to probably have some more special guests, so you don't want to miss it. Every Tuesday and then every Thursday, we have Mission Pro Unmatched. We're going to break down women's wrestling, the news, the moments, and we had a lot this week. So again, you don't want to miss it. Brian mentioned real quick a good shout out for the Black Swan. She might be the most physically gifted person to come through Mission Pro Wrestling.
Wow.
That is a huge statement from Brian, who has obviously seen hundreds of women come through the doors of Mission Pro Wrestling, and we will definitely see her in action on June 10th. You don't want to miss it. Watch it on Title Match Network. Veda, where can everyone follow you?
Check me out on Twitter at It's Veda Time. I'm always linked in all the show descriptions and the tweets, and that's where you can find me. So, give me a follow, please.
Amazing. Go give Veda a follow, give Mission Pro a follow. Follow me on all social platforms at Emily Mae Heller. Go email missionprowrestling@gmail.com if you want to sponsor. If you want to sponsor Zoe, if you want to sponsor any of the other wrestlers on the show, just send us a quick email and we'll get you all set up. It's a great opportunity. We appreciate all of your support every Tuesday for On a Mission, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.